Dear friends, it's Gene from maverickstar Observatory. If we do not do something soon, your freedoms are going to disappear very quickly. I've learned this morning about some pretty horrendous news, and yet again it starts and ends really much with another corporation, only this one has more power than a lot of them. It's the United Nations. I've learned within the last few hours that the United Nations, now part of their anti-terrorist organisation or division, have now been given the rights to remove the domain from a website if they feel that the views that are being expressed on that website are in some way or form extremist. And just like YouTube a few weeks ago took it upon themselves to go after people that had an alternative view with regards to what was causing climate, now they are going after those people that host websites as well, and ours will be at some point targeted. We live supposedly in a democratic society. If you're in the United States, Canada, Australia, Europe, the United Kingdom, etc. And many people, I mean, it chokes me to talk about this with you guys because I'm trying to wake you up. But many people have lost their lives so that you could keep your democracy. And we are seeing that democratic belief that we all believe we have and exercise every day is under a massive attack right now as we speak by these corporations that are avoiding, you know, the rights that they should have enforced on them. They should respect human life and freedoms that we all commonly share. If you take apart this democratic system that we have, at the very heart of it will be the right of freedom of expression, the right to share whatever views you want. You know, we're all big people, you know, we're not children that need protecting by these corporations, and they are human right violators. They are at the heart of this modern behaviour which is getting out of hand. You don't realise, I'm sure, like a lot of people don't realise how much importance this is, and yet most people are doing nothing about it. What has happened to humanity, where we do not no longer care whether we're treated as equal human beings? What's happened to our world, where now corporations are allowed to avoid penalties if they violate somebody's human rights? Those basic human rights, Article 10, will tell you that you are well within your rights in a democratic society to have freedom of expression. And what these corporations are doing, because of the legal loophole that they're exploiting, is committing crimes against humanity, and it's going on under our very noses, and nobody is holding them accountable to it. I've took it upon myself to bring this matter up with the MP, and we've just started, because I'm asking you now to do something about this, yourselves to do something about this. Because if you really care and love your family members, then I'm sure you will appreciate this little gift that we have and still hold. But I'm telling you now, if we let it slip, if we let these corporations exploit these loopholes that they are doing right now, we are walking right back into the times before 1940s, where Nazis did the exact same thing. I want to bring a few things to your attention. First of all, I want to address a point that was raised yesterday about these titles of these videos. They're a bit dramatic. Of course they are. What, you think I don't realise that if I put 6 alerts there, it's going to get your attention? And it's because I'm trying to get your attention. This is nothing new. You know, you used to see in New York the Guy that sold the newspapers, read all about it. Breaking news. Why is he doing that? He's trying to draw your attention in. That's all I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to get you to realise what is going on. Channels like this will be gone soon if nobody does nothing about it. The lives that have been spent and cost in histories of wars trying to protect democracy will have been lost in vain if we allow this to carry on. It's the corporations that are the terrorists. You know, I'll just bring something to your attention you may not have noticed, or you may have. Over the last week, have you seen what YouTube's done with the dislike button? It no longer shows the amount of dislikes on a video. I've never minded people disliking the video. Let them carry on. You know, we live in a democratic society where people can dislike something or like something. That's their entitlement. I don't mind. If you don't share my views or the points in which I raise, then please move on. But have you noticed YouTube have took it away? I want to ask you a question. Why do you think they did that? It's because Biden, when he starts to talk about his policies, people thumb him down. And when Rupert Murdoch's Sky News do a broadcast, it's thumbed down. And when any politician talk about anything, it's thumbed down, and they don't like it. They've kept the numbers there for the thumbs up, but they've removed the thumbs down because they can see that the public don't like them. I just want to also address another thing as well. It's clear to me, and probably to you as well, that the public don't have any more trust in the governments around this world. And when they start talking about you need vaccines, and then you need a booster, and then we've got another variant, they just don't trust you. If they trusted you, you wouldn't have to set up such campaigns to get people to have inoculations. You just wouldn't. But the reason why they're not is because they just don't simply trust you. It's probably because subconsciously they're realising you are using corporations to abuse people's rights. You can go to your congressman, your minister, your politician, and you can just raise this point. Why in this modern democratic society have we allowed corporations to exploit human rights? Why are they exempt from any accountability when they abuse human rights? Guys, I know it's frustrating. It really is frustrating. You know, I had, and I regularly do have, a couple of friends round every fortnight for a meal, and we have a chat, and they're really good friends of mine. And the last time they come, I said I was going to just go through the climate data with them because they wasn't sure what was going on. They sort of like suspect that, you know, that's a lot of money that COP26 is trying to raise, 100 trillion, and they was asking me, I think last week, what is this money for and what can be done. And I just showed them, you know, some information on climate. But I asked them whether they got a bug out bag. They said no. I said to my friend, you know, have you got car insurance? He said, yeah. I said, what's it worth? He said, around about £10,000. I said, well, you've got car insurance. How much do you pay for that a year? He said, about £700. I said, you've insured your car for £700 and it's worth £10,000. I said, what's your wife and children worth? And he understood then what I was talking about. He said, you're right. I never thought about it like that. I said, well, you know, an average bug out bag you could put together for around about £300. Less than half the cost that you pay to insure your car. I said, and that gives you and your family some insurance that if anything goes wrong, you have at least that to fall back on. He said, can I have a look next time we come round at what you've got in the bug out bag? I said, of course. But this is people that know me personally for 10 years, that still, despite all the things I've talked about, have not acted. And there is so many millions of people out there that in this day and age, they're so pacified that they have not even took even any measures themselves to protect, not even themselves or their close loved ones. We can't allow these people to have lost their lives in vain through all the wars that we've been through, and enough wars have happened. And this time, the battlefield's changed and we haven't noticed because no one is on our beaches and no one is dropping bombs on us. What's happening is a high-tech war on human beings. And if governments really care about democracy, they will stitch this loophole up very quickly and stop these corporations abusing human rights. Do you agree with me? It needs to be stopped, first and foremost. You know, put your comments in the section down there. We need to do something about this. It's no good waiting until we've lost our human rights and we've lost our democratic society. It's way too late by then, because there will be another war factory set up, or a death factory like in Auschwitz in Poland. The Germans got away with it, and these people with these corporations are gearing up to go for you. Do you understand that? You can put pressure on your politicians to do their job correctly and stitch up this little legal loophole which is massively being exploited at the moment. One of the most fundamental aspects of a democratic society is freedom to express yourself, freedom of speech and freedom of information. When you lose that, it isn't going to be long before there is no human rights that protect you, and that means a corporation can own your arse and they can do what the hell they want with it, and they're pretty much getting away with that right now. You know, this video needs to go viral. Everyone around the world needs to see this video, not for fame, just hear me, you know, broadcast it without the video. I'm not doing it for fame, I'm certainly not doing it for money. I'm doing it because of those people that risked their lives so that we can have what we've got today, and we're just allowing them to take it away from us without no resilience. We're not fighting back at all. We're allowing corporations now, not armies, corporations, to abuse our human rights. Which means that channels like this that cover in general science, we've had no choice but to be drawn into this argument now with Google and these corporations because of the threat that they pose from me informing people about what's going on in our world with regards to the anomalies that are taking place, primarily the magnetic North Pole. Why the hell would governments go after a channel that talks in general about the magnetic North Pole and other geo anomalies? Why? How can they consider me a terrorist for talking about such matters? Are we there yet? Are we really there yet? Is this where we are right now? We can't hold discussions on climate, one of the most things that we're ripped for in England, talking about. They always seem to talk about the weather. Why can't we talk about the weather anymore? If you're going to bring up, like these people are, if they're going to bring up the topic of CO2, let's talk about it. But what they want is to dictate that message to you and tell you their version of it. And it's so easy to disprove what they're saying because you don't need to be a genius or a rocket scientist to do that. I can't understand. I can't understand why we struggle here at this observatory for a bit of funding. When we ask for a bit of support, we get called beggars. That's unbelievable. Who are these people? And do they really have a brain? There is no begging going on here. There's a service being provided and it's not charged to anybody. It's left down to people to, if they want to, they can. It's like so much of the freedoms we have. You either want to listen or you don't. You know, simple. Nobody's begging here. Somebody has invested a lot of time and I offer a service. And, you know, it's not just that I'm going onto the websites, picking up articles here and there. I've actually built bespoke equipment for this observatory so that we can record and monitor the magnetic North Pole migrating. We've got magnetometers in other countries. Nobody here is begging anybody. We're offering you the opportunity to support us or not. Simple as that. I just don't understand what's happening to human beings in this world. Why are they prepared to let themselves be treated like animals? Don't they care? What's happened to people? I can't understand it. Why is this a big ask? Get in touch with your congressman. Write a letter to your MP. Do something about your human rights being infringed by these corporations. Stop them. Send the message back to them. You will not overstep that mark. We won't let you. We live in a democracy. You government people talk about democracy all the time, but you don't enforce protection of it. You're now allowing corporations through modern technology to abuse people's human rights. Are you going to do something about it? If it's okay for a corporation to abuse people's human rights, then what next? What next? Where are we going to be? I'm shocked. Sometimes it feels like, people don't want to listen. They don't want to help themselves, even if they know the train is coming down the track. They're prepared to just stand there and get hit by it. How come the people that have been viewing my channel for, a good few years now, 5, 6, 7 years, have not got bug out bags? How many people do you want me to show you crying because they've lost everything in the house because it just got washed away by a torrent of floods? How many people do you want to show you where the house is frozen solid because of extreme weather? If we're going to do nothing about it, we're going to be one of these people that say, geez, didn't think it would happen to me. This is exactly what they say, all these people. There's a link down there if you want to help support what we do here at the observatory. And, I'll just say what I usually do. You take care of yourselves and your loved ones. As always, bye for now.